Hello, Math Masterminds. Today we're going to look at unit rate. Here we're given a scenario. It reads, Joseph ran a 6-mile run in 48 minutes. Which graph has a slope that best represents Joseph's average rate of speed during the race? Before we look at answer choices, we need to process the information given. Here it states that Joseph ran a 6-mile run in 48 minutes. So we can see that we are comparing miles to minutes. Looking at our first answer choice, we first must identify the labels. We see that the y-axis represents distance in miles, and the x-axis represents time in minutes. But I notice that I do not have the 48 minutes on my graph. So I need to take another look at the information given. I can set up a ratio with the 6 miles that Joseph ran over the 48 minutes that it took him to run those 6 miles, and I can simplify to find out how long did it take Joseph to run 1 mile. And once I set up my ratio, I find out that Joseph ran 1 mile in 8 minutes, and that information is on my graph. So now I'm going to look at Joseph running 1 mile, 8 minutes, and the two will intersect at this point, but my line does not go through that point of intersection. So this cannot be my answer choice. Looking at the next graph, again, I see my y-axis represents distance in miles. X-axis represents time in minutes. It's very important that each graph you identify the labels. I'm now going to look at the fact that Joseph ran 1 mile, 8 minutes. Those 2 points will intersect, and my line does go through that point of intersection. Therefore, I will consider this as my answer choice, but I want to continue looking at the other answer choices that's given. In my next graph, I notice that my y-axis represents distance in miles, x represents time in minutes, and the point of intersection would be 1 mile in 8 minutes is not represented. The line does not go through that point of intersection. Cannot be my answer choice. Last graph. Here, y represents distance, x represents time. Joseph ran 1 mile in 8 minutes. The line does go through this point of intersection, but I have to be careful. This is a vertical line, which is undefined, which also tells me that when Joseph ran 6 miles, it should have taken him 48 minutes, but based on this graph, it says it took him 8 minutes still. So therefore, this cannot be a representation of Joseph's average rate of speed during the race. So today's activities will focus on scenarios where you have to identify the unit rate. If you have any questions, you can always come see me on Google Meet by pressing the help button.